Guys, welcome back to the Merry Boozers RC channel. Today we have the E-flite Pitts S1. You know, this one came out a while back and I really wanted it and I just never had a chance to get it, but had the wild hair hit me the other day and decided to order one. So here it is on the table. We're going to be putting it together today. And I wanted to show you another product that we've been using around here for a very long time. The S-1S stands. So you can see they have some new colors available. It used to always come in blue and tan, like this one that I've had forever, literally probably since like 1993. And like I said, they came out with some awesome new colors now, and they also have the S-1S stand, like big one now, if you're doing big airplanes. So we've been using these a bunch, really liking them. They're a very inexpensive accessory, guys, that everybody should have a stand. I don't care what, if you're in this hobby, get you a stand. These are about as cheap as they come. There's nothing to them. If you want to take them apart, they just pull apart like this for easy transport, mix and match colors, all that good kind of stuff. But when you're working on an airplane, it sure is nice to be able to put it in that perfect orientation and not have to worry about damaging the airplane. So yeah, you definitely need one of these if you don't have one. And then S-1S also came out with these little plastic assembly tray type items. Keeps all your screws and everything organized. We're going to be using it today as we put this together. So really cool, guys. Like I said, super excited to be putting this one together. We've been wanting it a while. It's a typical E-flite airplane. I've looked over it. There's only 20 little parts here to put on it. So this should be real fast. 3 screws, a couple cotter keys. Super easy, but we're going to go on and put this together for you today, as always. And I hope you enjoy this video. So let's get rolling. Alright guys, here we are down on the bench. So I've gone on ahead and organized all my parts out so the assembly should go nice and easy. We've got our S-1S stand here, so you've got your holders right here, and we got our glue caddy over here. So we should have everything we have needed for this. Make sure you stay nice and organized. You're going to need your 2mm hex driver for this kit. I like one that's a screwdriver. And here we go. First to set on the instructions is to put on the wheels. So let's flip the airplane over. We're gonna grab our wheels, and there are 3 of these little screws in the kit. They are the only screws in the kit. Let's get them lined up. And tightened on. Just like so. All right, so the next step is we're going to get the elevator halves put on. So this one is one of the few E-flite planes you actually glue these on. So, got my trusty old white tube glue that comes with every airplane out there. You can always use foam tack or your type of choice of glues. There are many in the world of glues, but this is the one I like on foam stuff like this, if I can get it open. Hi-ya, there we go. So, you can see right there where it's unpainted at. We're going to take and put a layer of glue, nice and thin, right along there, all the way around. Slide it in. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Once again, this stuff has about a 10-minute working time, so you don't got to be crazy fast with it. That's what I like about it. If you were to use CA right now, the stuff sets off so fast. You have a hard time wiggling everything and getting it just like you like. I'm gonna go and slide that in. Remember, don't ever force anything when you're putting airplanes together, guys. Gentle. There we go. You can wipe that off. Wipe off any excess so it looks pretty. And that is how you glue the tail on. Make sure everything's nice and straight. Look down it. Should look good and straight. Look at it from the top. Make sure both sides are even. That white part of the paint missing should disappear. And that's how that works. All right, so now it's time to get the wing put on. We're gonna start with the bottom wing. It is the first time I have ever seen a wing put on with body clips before. First time for everything, right? So, we're gonna pull our little wires out and unhook those. They're kind of just tied up in a knot in the bottom of the wing. Untie that little knot so that your wires are nice and loose. We're going to pass those down through the fuselage now and into that bay. We want to make sure we don't pinch any wires and they stay nice and loose as we put the wing on. Once you got them in there the way you want, it just kind of clips and pushes down over this post right here. There's a little post sticking up right here. And then we're going to take one of these body pins, as you can see right here, these little body pins, and now we're going to poke that through there. And that is what is going to hold our wing on. Because I need just to loosen that body pin up just a little bit to get it to go in. Like that right there. And I'm also going to turn that now straight. So the body pin screws in and out. So if you need it to come out a little bit, just unscrew it. And if you want, once you get done, like me, to have that pin in a little bit, I just turned mine straight with the airplane. But yeah, you can take and turn this. Clockwise goes down, counterclockwise comes out, you know, lefty loosey, righty tighty. But that's what actually holds this little wing on. So now we can flip the airplane over, grab our little wing gussets, make sure they all kind of fit right. They are labeled. Right on the bottom there's an R for right and an L for left. Ta-da. And they only go one direction. So, here we go. You take these long silver pins, get everything lined up. I know I'm on the wrong side from you right now. And just kind of take your time. Don't push too hard. Don't go crazy. I've had to deal with these a few times in the past. They're never very easy to get lined up. It's not always like that. Oh, got it. Got it. Just like that. Now we're going to take the top wing, push it in, make sure everything kind of lines up everywhere. So the way this wing works is you have to come from the front and slot it into the slot. If you can see, there's a slot right there at the top that it has to go into on this. Like that right there. And now you got to line up the little holes all over. There's that. And then we're going to take the remaining 2 body pins. They go up in here. Up in here. Not the easiest thing to get your hand in there or to show on camera. I'll try and pick it up here in a second and show it to you guys though. How I did that. And then we got to put our top pins in. So I'm going to put these 2 last pins in the top, and then we will be back in a second. Alright, so now that we have our wings on, I could have done this before I put the top wing on, wherever you want to do this part, but I waited till right now. We're going to reach down and grab our aileron connections. I don't know how easy you're going to see this. There's a Y harness already plugged in. Just make sure you go yellow to yellow and brown to brown and push those in. Same thing. You got 2 of these to do. Yellow to yellow, brown to brown. Push it in good. Now I'm going to take all of my wires and tuck them down in that little hole. We want them in that little cube. Alright, one little thing I'm going to do a little different from the manual. This has the AS3X receiver that doesn't have the bind button on it. So every time you want to bind this, you have to reach down in there and put a bind plug in there. I'm just going to add a little servo extender to make this a little bit easier for the future. So reach in there and push that in there. And now I have me a bind port that's up here instead of down in there buried to where I have to reach in there and do it every time. So we're at that point now. We need to bind the airplane up, make sure everything's centered, and put our control rods on. So I'm going to put a bind port in our little bind port that we just installed. Like I said, that's totally optional. You can always reach down in there and put your bind plug in there. So, give me just a second. Alright, so I set my radio up off screen. I'm going to reach in here. I don't got to put the battery up in there or anything. We're just trying to bind right now. So it sets you a battery in there. Plug it in. Airplane should come on in bind mode now. There we go. Hit bind on your radio. Well, there it goes. Do all that again, Lori, because it didn't work. What the heck? Is it actually in mind? Yep, it is. Okay. All right, guys, so I've set my radio up off screen here. Gonna take a battery, plug it in. You can see down, well, you can't see it. The receiver is blinking away. We're gonna hit bind on our transmitter.
Bind complete. DSMX 22 milliseconds.
There it goes. AS3X, linked up. And everything works. So at this point, it's time to put our control rods on. So I'm just gonna set that in there for now. You've got the two long ones for the wings. You just take and slot it in there, like so. And now we're gonna adjust we want to get everything the same. It's tight. I'm actually going to have to drill that one out just a touch. There we go. Still a little too tight. There we go. Just like that. No problem. Then we'll flip her over. Oops, I forgot about the battery. It's more exciting that way, right? And then let's see, the elevator's on the other side. So you guys can't see that. There we go. It needs to come out a mile. So let's take a look. Where does it say to put it? On the outermost. That one's also kind of tight. So all of my linkages have been a little on the tight side, to be honest. I've had to open up the holes just a hair in order to get them in there. So there we go. Perfect. All right, guys. That gets our control rods all put on. All right, last step before we put the propeller on, now that all our control rods and linkages are all centered and neutral, we are going to calibrate our ESC. So in order to do this, we're going to take our controller, put it at full throttle, propeller is off, the airplane is already bound right now. We're going to plug the airplane in, if I can pick up the wire. We're going to let it initialize. And now we are going to pull the throttle stick all the way to the bottom.
Timer stop.
There it is, all calibrated. All right, guys, now that we have the wings on, everything's hooked up on the airplane. We've calibrated the ESC, we've made sure all our controls are working, we've set up our throttle cut. Now it's finally time that we can put our propeller on. So I've unplugged the airplane for this part. You're going to take the back half of the spinner, slide that on, and then we're going to put our propeller on, the nut, like so, tighten it up, and our little spinner. Oh, you know what? I did not think that through. And now I can tell you guys not to make the same mistake. That has to go in the middle. So make sure your spinner can actually clip in before you hook it in there. That's why you're watching me, right? So you don't make the same mistake. There we go. The last screw in the kit comes in the little baggie that the spinner was in. And there we are. Uh-oh. Might have that just a hair too tight. There we go. Perfect. So there you go, guys. The Pitts S1 in all of its glory, as old Papa Dots would say. If you decided that you want one of these, there's always going to be a link down in the description. We are a Horizon Hobby affiliate. If you decide to get one from our videos, through that link down below, we make a little bit of money off of it. It helps support the channel. And as always, please get out there and like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And there's also going to be links for the Ernst stands and our little trays down in the bottom. So, like I said, guys, get out there, fly with your buddies. As always, we have a lot of fun here at the Boozers. I hope y'all are enjoying the videos. So, we'll see y'all in the next one. Guys, bye. So now that the airplane is all bound up, all our control rods are done, we've calibrated the ESC, our final step on the assembly is to put the prop on. Always do this as your very last step, guys. Huh. Huh. Oh. Oops, gotta put the back plate on first.